6 days at camp. Day 3, Jill's Day. It is rock band gig day. This is not Jill's best day at camp. She is not into band stuff. She has no skills to play in a band. Jill thinks Beth and Lynn play the drums well. She cannot stand that. She wants to crush the rock band gig for them. "What are you up to, Jill?" asked Sid. "Let us play a prank on Lynn and Beth." Jill have kids to test what Sid will say. What do you think? Sid does not say anything. She does not like it when Jill acts like this. She does not want to play pranks. This plan is not for her. "Hi, kids," said Miss Gibbs as she gets in the hut. Jill jumps when Miss Gibbs pops up next to her. "Oh, that was bad. Do you think Miss Gibbs got that?" she asked Sid. Sid shrugs. Pranks are not her thing, but she still does not say a thing to Jill. Miss Gibbs hands the kids their time slots for the rock band gig prep. "Sid, you have the 10 a.m. slot in cabin 101. Jill, you are at 11 a.m. in cabin 102. "Time to go. I got the 10 a.m. slot," yells Sid as she grabs her clarinet and sprints out of the hut. She just wants to get out of there. Sid is glad to be at the 10 a.m. class with the best band. She plays the clarinet well, but she still needs a bit of help. Lynn and Beth help Sid with her act. Sid is glad for the help, but she does not get why they want to help her. Jill says Lynn and Beth are bad, so Sid expects them to be bad. But now she thinks Jill may be just as bad with her pranks and all. At the end of the class, Sid packs her clarinet in its box to bring it with her. She wants to play a bit more when lunch ends so she can do her best at the gig. She sprints out fast not to bump into Jill. She thinks Jill must be mad that Sid is not at the 11 a.m. class with her. Sid runs to the pond. She sits on the rock with the rod. "Can I fish with you?" asks Jan. She sits on the rock next to Sid. All the kids like Jan. She is fun. Back at the hut, Jill checks the clock on the wall. It is just 10:45. "I do not like this band stuff. There must be a way to get out of this gig," she thinks. "I wish Sid was in this class with me." Jill gets to cabin 102 at 10:50 a.m. She still does not have a thing to play. That just kills her. She likes to be the best in all she does. She checks the list on the wall. This does not look good. Trumpet, no. Clarinet, no. Drums, no. Then she spots it. The list says gong. No skill to play and quick to get the hang of. "This is for me," thinks Jill. She digs into the stack. She grabs the big brass gong and a stick that is next to it. Just then, Lynn and Beth pass by cabin 102. Jill is in the class with the gong in her hand. "Gong? Not a bad pick. You need no skill for that," says Lynn, and they run out. "That is it. I will play a prank on Lynn and Beth. They will go down at the rock band gig. But what trick? Jill has to map this out well." At 11:05, the rest of the kids are in class. They are all set to play. "This slot is for you if you are not a bad band whiz," tells Miss Gibbs. "Yuck. It is by skill. I bet Lynn and Beth were with Sid. I cannot stand that I am stuck with this class," grunts Jill. "Can you play the gong, Jill?" asks Miss Gibbs. "Not yet," Jill says. Did you play the gong in the past?" Miss Gibbs asks. Jill says no. Then she hits the gong with the stick. Bong, bong, bong. Jill, can you stop it just a bit? Asked Miss Gibbs. She thinks Jill cannot be this bad. This is my best. Trust me on this, says Jill. But this is not her best, not at all. Oh my, thinks Miss Gibbs. Can I skip the rock band gig? Jill asks. This is her shot to get out of the gig. Miss Gibbs fret what the gig will be like if Jill is there. Not just her lack of skills, Jill will be mad that she is not the best. The rest will have to pay for it. A mad Jill is not what Miss Gibbs wants at the gig. In fact, Jill, yes, it will be the best if you skip the rock band gig. But then you will get a big task on the day of the grand ball. You will have to help with the setup for the ball. If you cannot do that, you can skip the rock band gig. Think and pick the grand ball setup or the rock band gig, says Miss Gibbs. Setup for the ball is Jill's job on the list. This does not add more for her to do. But she will not tell that to Miss Gibbs. I do not have to think grand ball setup. I don't have to think. Grand ball setup it is. I will be glad to help. Am I out of the rock band gig? Jill asks. Miss Gibbs nods. She sets back the brass gong from Jill's still intact. You can go now, Jill, but do not forget the setup for the grand ball. She lets Jill out of the class. Jill is glad to get out of the rock band gig. On her way out, she spots Lynn and Beth in cabin 101. They play the drums and have fun. I miss the fun Beth and I had, Jill thinks as she gets out. But she forgets Beth fast when she spots Sid by the pond. She is not glad that Jan sits with Sid. She cuts in their chat, and the fun ends for Sid. Is that a rod in your hand? Will you fish? Are you nuts? Jill yells at Sid. This stings. Sid is not glad that Jill is out of the class as quick. She just got to the pond. She drops the rod and stands up in a rush. Just one more thing that Sid likes but cannot do. Thanks to Jill. She picks up the rod and hands it to Jan. Jill tells Sid that Miss Gibbs let her skip the rock band gig. She tells Sid to skip the gig as well. She wants to be in the gig, but she cannot tell this to Jill, so she says that Miss Gibbs will not let her skip as well. Plus, there is not much time left until the gig. I must play my clarinet just a bit more, says Sid. No way, says Jill. Let us play chess. She grabs Sid's hand. Sid's clarinet stays in its box until the gig. Jill and Sid hang out with Fran and play chess. Fran sits at a desk next to Sid. She checks Sid's chess steps when Sid plays with Jill. Check what time it is, Sid, Fran says as she cuts in. Time for the gig. Sid gets up fast. We have to be on time, Fran grabs Sid's hand. Let's go. Sid picks up her clarinet and runs with Fran. Sid gets back to the hut quick. When your act ends, I'll be there, Jill yells. On the way to the gig, Fran asks Sid, what did you do with your king back there? Sid shrugs. Why do you let Jin win like this all the time? I do not get it. You have to get out of your shell and stand up to Jill. It is just chess, Fran. Not a big thing, says Sid. She wants to brush it off. At the gig, Sid does not play as well as she wants. It is not her best. She is in and out of the rock band gig quick to hang out with Jill in the hut. She does not get to check out the rest of the acts. In the hut, Jill and Sid plan for the grand ball. This is fun for Sid. This is the Jill she likes. And Jill forgets to play a prank on Lynn. The day ends with no tricks.